Hello, lovely people. Hope you're well. I'm delighted to be joined by Luke from Let's Talk Sport. And you know what this means, guys? UFC 274 is on the way. 2 title fights, 1 Legends League fight, as Luke has named it, 1 sleeper fight, and 1 potential fan favorite people's main event. Sit back, tune in. This is the preview show. Let's go. Lukey, how you doing, bro?
Hey, I'm buzzing. I'm still on cloud 9.
We are.
Still
Obviously,
on
this
cloud
isn't live, guys, but we have not too long finished watching Man City go out of the Champions League. It's going to be Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Will it be revenge for Salah, or will Carlo pull off another master stroke? But that
Sorry,
is for a
Carla.
different day.
Sorry.
It's got to be our time.
Revenge tour ends in Paris.
I mean, speaking of revenge, can Rose get revenge? Will Gaethje finally get his hands on the real belt after he threw the interim belt down? Can Chandler and Ferguson break their losing streak? Can OSP and Rua turn back the clock and put on a performance that can make people sit up and say, let's go? And will Lozon and Cerrone show that they are still about and potential contenders? But let's start with the main event. Let's start with Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. It's time! Big fight. Oliveira, probably the most underrated 55-pound champion for a while.
Yes.
And barring Khabib, the title was a little bit of a hot potato for a little while. You had Anthony Pettis, RDA, Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor. Then Khabib got it, defended it a few times, then retired. And now Oliveira's on his second defense against Gaethje. Gaethje, on the other hand, went for a little period where he was losing fights against Alvarez and Poirier, turned it around, made a barnstorming climb to the title fight, didn't do well against Khabib, and then has come back with a fantastic and probably fight of the year candidate, well, probably fight of the year winner against Michael Chandler. Who have you got for this fight, bro, and why?
I've got and still Charlie Olives to retain his belt, because I'm still running not the agenda but the dream of him and Khabib, which I do think will happen at some point next year, providing he finishes Makhachev this year. If he taps him out or knocks him out and goes, I beat the apprentice, I now want the real one, then that could drag him out. I know Khabib says, I'm done. If it's not GSP not coming back, I think you would have still knocked out your brother. You'd be coming storming back into that ring. If that was McGregor, if McGregor knocked out Makhachev, you'd be coming back for Red Panty Night Part 2.
I mean, Dana will probably employ you if he ever watches this, because you've just written the storyline of a lifetime from there. Sign the checks, Dana. Luke's available.
Yeah.
I hear where you're coming from. I too want that scenario. I want Oliveira to win, beat Makhachev if he fights Makhachev, and then Khabib and him fight, because I think of everyone who's active right now, I think he gives Khabib the most problems. I don't know if he beats Khabib, but he definitely asks the question. That being said, as much as I love Oliveira and rate him and want him to win, I also love Gaethje. Like, how can you not love Gaethje's fighting style? Like, the guy is just a machine. He's a Terminator in real life.
Cardio machine.
I've got to go with Gaethje. And look, I see where Oliveira can win. I see the route to victory for Oliveira. It's that slow start from Oliveira, though, and the fact that he starts so fast. I think back to the James Vick fight, for example, and Oliveira is way ahead of James Vick, but James Vick was notoriously a slow starter. Gaethje closed that distance and KO'd him.
Mm.
Poirier rattled Oliveira earlier. Chandler rattled him early. Gaethje, I don't think he'll let him off the hook. I don't think he'll let him off the hook. I think he closes the distance early. I think he chops away at the leg from very early. And I think that overhand right or the uppercut is there for him. And I think he'll get... I know it's bold. I'm going for a first round stop.
That's very bold. That's very bold. Because I believe Oliveira's going to sleep him.
You do, yeah?
Submission. Yeah, by submission. I think he's either going to get he's going to get his arm broken or he's going to get his head ripped off by submission. I just see. Yeah, I completely understand that slow start. I'm wondering if it's because that he has to have glasses outside the octagon, and he has said in the octagon he sees 3 opponents. And he says he only hits the one in the middle.
That's crazy.
I'm like, what? He says like it's part of God's plan or something like that. And I'm like, you need to get some contact lenses in there.
I can assure you, God's plan is not to put a man in there for a fish fight and say there's 3 of them. Now pick which one you hit. I'm pretty sure that's not God's plan.
I know, it's crazy.
It is to me. And that's where I think he'll come unstuck. So, I mean, I've gone for Gaethje, you've gone for Oliveira.
Yeah.
Let's see how it plays out. People, leave your predictions. Will it be and new or and still? Let us know. Let's move on to the co-main event. Will it be revenge and redemption, or will it be rinse and repeat? Now, Luke, if I said to you, I'm getting married in a week's time, but I'm going to have a fight with a world-class fighter a week before the wedding, what would your advice be to me?
Get the wedding pushed back. Tell the missus and goes, yo, hey, wedding getting pushed right back.
This is what we're faced with, though. Carla Esparza is getting married
the week after.
A week after. First and foremost, shout out to Carla Esparza. Shout out to her fiance as well, because that is a big thing to do. But when you're coming up against Rose, it's very unlikely you're going to leave without at least a mark on your face.
Oh, yeah.
Very unlikely.
100%. Well, at least
trained by Trevor Whitman and Pat Berry. Striking's a thing, isn't it? However, this is 8 years in the making. The last time she beat Rose, she stopped Rose. Carla has been way more aggressive over the last few fights with her wrestling and ground and pound. Rose has recaptured the belt, defended the belt. How do you see this playing out, and who have you got, bro?
I've got Rose by TKO, but it's not going to be. It's not going to be like one and done. I do think it's going to be a really tough fight. Carla's riding a 5-fight win streak. Got a lot to prove. Still got a lot left, and obviously she's had well-documented problems in the past. So she's going to be hungry for that belt to take to a wedding, which is going to be pretty cool. However, on the opposite side, you've got a killer in Rose, a rematch queen. Everyone she's fought more than once, she's beaten them in a rematch. Wei Li, Joanna. I think there was someone else. Andrade. Yeah, I think there's someone else that she lost to that wasn't Carla and beat them in the rematch. But I'm going to have to look that up. But
yeah,
so she's a rematch queen, and mentally she looks like she's on a whole another ball game. Different ball games with these women.
Yeah.
That's where she is. I feel like with Trevor Whitman, Pat Barry, that team is all there to make sure that she's in the right frame of mind. I think one of the fights that she was on, I think Trevor Whitman said that she's the most natural athlete out of the fighters he trains. She's the most natural. So for her, it's all about the mental game. And recently, she's proven that she's mentally tough, that mental toughness. And like you saw in her last fight against Wei Li, got taken down, managed to get back up, and that's what she's going to need.
And then took her
again,
down.
And took her down. But for her, she's going to have to focus on staying on the feet because that's her keys to victory. She can keep Carla standing. Then my money's on the champ.
I agree. I've got Rose to win this. It'd be a nice story for Carla, but I've got Rose to win this. I think they both evolved since the last time they fought 8 years ago. I just think Rose has evolved more, and I think she's got way more keys to victory. Whereas Carla, like, again, anything can happen in MMA. But if you sat there and tell me Carla can knock her out standing up, I'd be like, nah.
I'd be like, get out of here, man.
Yeah, get out of here, man. But I see Rose being able to knock her out. I see Rose being able to outstrike her over 3 rounds. I also see Rose being able to submit her as well. So I'm going with the champ. And and then for another show, we've got a discussion as to where Rose goes next, because she's kind of cleaned out the division. Is she going to lap the division again?
Or is she going to have to knock Valentina? How much money do you want to make?
Time will tell. Guys, leave your predictions in the comments below. Now let's preview the people's main event. It's time! One's on a 3-fight losing streak. One's on a 2-fight losing streak. Dana's already come out and said neither of these two men will be cut. We spoke about on Let's Talk Sport, and if you haven't, guys, make sure you check out Let's Talk Sport. We did a preview on there, me and Luke. Also subscribe to that channel. Let's get to 10K on that channel as well. But you brought up and said that Dana's not going to hook anyone. Neither have got that fear of being cut. But we also spoke about what's in it for them if they win or lose. We don't know. But if we're just taking this as an isolated fight, who have you got and who needs this win more?
Oh, that's a tough one. Because they both need it for different reasons. Like for Tony, to get back on the win streak, he's been absolutely dominated in his 3 losses. But Chandler needs it because he was the new guy got brought in, beat Dan Hooker, called out pretty much everyone, called out Khabib saying, hey, you want to come back, beat me? Since then, got stopped by Oliveira and he lost to Gaethje by decision. So for his ego and for probably Dana's ego, he probably needs it more because Dana's going to look like a right if his big money purchase can't hang with the big boys.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he's a young fighter. He's on the wrong age of 30. He's on the wrong side of 30. So, like, he needs this win. But yet again, Tony's on the wrong side of 30 as well. So, it's going to be quite difficult. They both need it just as badly. And the thing is, Dana shouldn't have come out and said their jobs were safe.
Yeah.
Should have only said it afterwards.
Yeah.
That would add a little bit more. You want it more.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think Chandler's job would ever have been in question. I think it's more about Ferguson.
Yeah.
I think it's more about Ferguson.
He's been in some wars.
He has been. He has been. I mean,
if he
can turn back the clock. I mean, it's weird because a couple of years ago, we're sitting here saying Ferguson's the only one that can beat Khabib. Now we're sitting there saying, can Ferguson still stay in the top 10? Which is crazy how quickly MMA moves on. I've got Chandler to win this, and we spoke about this over on your channel with the preview. Chandler, since he's come to the UFC, has not been fighting how he normally fights. He's not been fighting tactically. He's been fighting to get fans, which is, it's a good thing for us, but a bad thing usually for the fighter because they end up getting into situations they shouldn't have or wouldn't have normally got in. That being said, with him being on a 2-fight losing streak, him having 3 very good performances, whether they've been win, lose, or draw in the last 3, I think he reverts to type and he gets the win by any means necessary. And I think he wrestles Ferguson and grinds out a unanimous point decision.
He said that on Embedded as well. He says, it's going to be tactical, more measured. Yeah, it's a great fight for the fans, but looking back at it, not again.
Yeah.
And if I was his if I was Henry Hoof, I'd be going, what the F was that?
Yeah.
Abandon the game plan. And if I was Trevor Whitman, I'd be the same to Gaethje. Yeah, you won, but next time you listen to me, not listen to the fans. You listen to my game plan.
Yeah.
So I reckon, I do agree with you that Chandler is going to win by decision. I don't think it's going to be a fun fight. I think it's going to be quite a boring fight, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think Chandler's going to get the job done, and then it's like, what's next for the winner? What's next for the loser? Because that division is, you got the champ.
Yeah, clogged up.
Gaethje. Got Dariush and Makhachev. Don't know when that's been announced. Is that a fight night main event? I don't know. Nothing's been said about.
Yeah, I think it'd be later on in the year for that one.
You got a Dustin Poirier floating about. You got a returning Conor McGregor floating about. Then you got an RDA floating about. So all these people need dance partners. So it's gonna be like whoever loses is gonna get fed to someone to. Yeah, it's gonna be really difficult.
Yeah, be interesting. I'm going for Chandler. Who have you got, bro?
Chandler by decision.
Guys, can El Kakui roll the clock back, or will Chandler show that he is a new breed and he's here to stay for a few more years? Let us know in the comments below, and smash the like button if you haven't already. Now we're going to look at a former champion and a former title contender. Not the most exciting fight. Kind of weird this on a pay-per-view. Well, again, no disrespect to OSP. I don't know if we go down as a legend. Shogun will definitely go down as a legend. OSP will always go down as a fighter. As you think, did he fully apply himself? And if so, like, if you're not, sorry, what could have been? Like, he's had a submission renamed because of him. At his best, he's devastating. We saw the knockout against Corey Anderson, for example. But I've also seen when he just doesn't seem like he wants to be there as well and doesn't even want to engage. Shogun's always going to show up to fight, but we also know he's been in some wars, and is it going to catch up with him? I think this fight mainly depends on which version of OSP shows up. I think if this version of OSP shows up that wants to win, wants to attack, I think he does, and I think he does so devastatingly. If he doesn't, I think it becomes a boring fight, and Shogun sort of grinds out a split decision or a slim unanimous decision. What's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, just looking at OSP's record, lost to Tanner Boza, KO punches at heavyweight, lost to Jamal Hill, beat Alonso Menefield, lost to Ben Rothwell at heavyweight. Just look at his losses. His losses are to the elite.
Yeah.
Like Dominic Reyes, Latifi, beat Corey Anderson, Ozdemir, Jones, Glover.
Broke his arm in that Jones fight and fought to the end as well.
Ryan Bader. So he's fought, and then Gregor Masasi. So he's
fought
elite. He fought killers, but you could say this is another Legends League fight. This is another Legends League fight. And for a pay-per-view, one is enough.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, if you're in America paying $80 for this, I'd be really annoyed.
Yeah.
Really annoyed. Because you could swap either one of the first two and add a fight that has real stakes.
Yeah.
But the way the cookie crumbles, especially after ever since UFC 273, the fight nights have been very poor. Very poor. And I've stayed up and watched most of them. So as someone that is doing late shifts watching those fights, like they need to step up now. So it's going to be, I think Shogun, is he fought since he lost to Paul Craig? Is he fought since that one?
Not that I can think of, no. I don't believe he has.
Let's be honest, he was lucky to get a draw in Brazil.
Oh, massively lucky. We know why that happened.
Yeah,
In Brazil.
In Brazil, you do as you're told.
Yeah. That should never have been a draw. That was a clear win for Paul Craig. I'm gonna go OSP. We'll go OSP stoppage.
I'm going Shogun by decision.
Again, it's a bit of a sleeper fight. Look, we could sit here and when we're doing a watch long and be like, what a fight that was. I'm worried for that fight. Why the crowd are gonna get a bit angsty as well.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we'll see. Guys, leave your predictions below. Last fight or first fight on the card, last fight we'll be previewing. Cowboy, the man that never says no to a fight versus Lozon. I mean,
proper Legends League.
Proper Legends fight here. Two guys who are warriors. Always throw down, rarely turn down a fight, if ever. Have they both run their race though? And if so, who still has a little bit more fight left? Because I think that's where it might come down to.
Probably the one that's got more is probably Joe Lazoon. And probably the one that probably should think about hanging up that Cowboy's hat is Cowboy, because he's not won in 3 years at all.
Literally, we're the 5th of May now at the time of recording.
Last fight was 3 years ago yesterday.
Literally to the day, pretty much. Last fight he won was against Al Quinta, and here's the thing, he looked phenomenal in that fight.
Yeah, it's always been the mental thing with him.
Yeah, he
always been
Al Quinta in that fight. If I'm not mistaken, Al couldn't even walk out of the octagon. He had to be carried out, beat up his legs. He knocked him down a few times. Absolutely battered him. And you think back 3 years ago and you think, wow, that Cowboy can still go on a little run maybe. Now you look at him and you're thinking,
oh no,
him being a tough guy has come back to haunt him, because if he picked his fights a bit better, we may be sitting there saying Cowboy could still make a potential run to the top 5.
Yeah, but there's no way.
Now, and because of that, I'm going Joe. As much as I love Cowboy, I'm going Joe.
Finish him early.
I think it's going to be a first round.
Cowboy for 170. Got finished in the first round. Like his finish has been finishing the first round. Finishes the first round. So he's going to get finished in the first round again. And I feel like the Cowboy, he's trying to hold on for that final win.
Yeah.
And then
I think Boehner is as well.
And unfortunately, this should be the last time he fights on the pay-per-view.
If he wins this, then I reckon you'll.
If he wins, and someone go, Cowboy, you're done.
Yeah,
you're done.
Yeah, I could live with that, but I don't see it happening on this one. And I don't know where the next win comes from for him. So it's a bit tough one. But guys, you leave your comments below on the Cowboy Joe Lozon fight. As always, please do smash the like button if you haven't. Please do check out Luke's channel, Let's Talk Sport. The link is in the title, so just go head over there, subscribe. They are so close to 10K and they really deserve it, guys. Luke, as always, thank you so much for coming on the channel. We are going to be back live watch along. Fight Companion, UFC 274, early hours of Sunday morning / Saturday night. I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys join us for that. Until we see you next time, thanks for watching. This has been the Sanderson Show. See you on the other side, people.
See ya.